Even more Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronics have been leaked. Let's take a look. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and welcome to yet another Lowe's Halloween 2024 leak video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the last week or so has been filled with Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic leaks, and has been a time that I'm going to call Lowe's lunacy. Get it? We went from Morris Mania to now Lowe's lunacy. Come on, that's pretty good, you gotta admit. Well, I don't only have clever names, because today I have even more thoughts relating to even more Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronics, because we have some brand new leak stock photos coming to us once again from the Halloween Decorating Fanatics 2024 Facebook page. Full credit goes to them once again for all of the information and images that we are going to take a look at in this video. They have been super helpful throughout my entire series of Lowe's Halloween 2024 leaks, and they are once again the original poster for everything you're about to see. So without any further ado, let's jump right into these Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic leaks. Alright, so let's start this off with an animatronic that seems to be very popular with these brand new leaked stock photos, and that is the new for 2024 Lowe's/Techie Design Balancing Clown. Now, just like a lot of the Lowe's props, this guy doesn't really have an official name, so I'm just going to be calling him the Balancing Clown because that's basically what he's doing. Now, like I just said, this guy is being manufactured by Techie Design for the 2024 season, which, if you've been sticking around for my other Lowe's leak videos, it looks like basically the entire lineup for Lowe's this year is being made by Techie, which is awesome to see because the quality has definitely been raised from the 2023 lineup and everything that Lowe's has ever done. A lot of times working with Gemmy, because Techie tends to make some pretty high quality animatronics, and I think that'll definitely go for this brand new clown. Now, this guy's concept is basically a clown balancing on a set of bowling pins with his legs right straight up in the air. He's got a kind of classic striped clown outfit, and then his head is kind of looking forward right at the person that's activating him. Now, this guy seems to be very popular with these brand new leaked stock photos, and for good reason, because I do think this guy's look and concept are actually pretty good for a clown animatronic. One of my favorite things about this guy is the color scheme. I like the kind of dark blue/purple and then the dark green that we're seeing. It's kind of a breath of fresh air for clown animatronic color schemes, and I will say it is very techy. I'm not even sure really why that is, but it seems like this is something we get a lot on techy animatronics, are these kind of dark green colors and dark blues/purples. So I actually do really like the color scheme on this brand new clown. Now, according to the description, this guy will have some animation with his legs moving back and forth, and then he also will have a twisting head. Now, that seems pretty interesting because I kind of would have predicted that his legs would kind of move back and forth to resemble that idea that he's balancing on the bowling pins. But honestly, with this stock photo, I did not think that we would see anything related to the head, but according to the description, he will have a twisting head. Probably going to be something like the head kind of spinning in a 360 animation, so as he's kind of balancing and the legs are wobbling back and forth, his head is kind of spinning in a circle, which is definitely kind of a unique animation and something that I think will be kind of fun for this clown, just to give him a kind of weird animation and make him look even crazier, that he's balancing on bowling pins while his legs are going back and forth and his head is spinning at the exact same time. Now, this guy will be retailing for $299, so just about $300 United States dollars, and if you've been watching my other Lowe's leak videos, you know that a lot of the animatronics in the Lowe's lineup for 2024 have had pretty steep price tags, and for the first time, I actually think that this guy's fits the animatronic pretty well. We know that this guy actually stands at 8 feet tall according to his description, which basically makes sense because the body itself we can kind of presume to be maybe 7 feet tall, maybe like 6.5 feet tall, and then of course he's also balancing on those bowling pins, which is also going to add to the frame and height of this animatronic. So he's 8 feet tall, and he also has that leg animation, which will probably make it look like he's balancing on the bowling pins, and he also has some LED eyes and that twisting head animation. So $300 for an 8-foot animatronic, I honestly don't think is that bad, and this is the very first prop of the Lowe's lineup for this year that I think is actually justifiable, and the price I actually think fits the animatronic relatively well. Next up, we have the new for 2024 Tombstone Zombie Jumpscare, and I'm not gonna lie, the very first time that I saw this guy's leaked stock photo, the immediate thought that popped into my mind was the Spirit Halloween 2014 pop-up grave zombie. This brand new animatronic coming from Lowe's is very similar to the pop-up grave zombie. However, I will say that of course this new one coming for 2024 is being manufactured by Techie, while the original one from 2014 at Spirit was manufactured by Taylux Artware. Nonetheless, the concept between these two animatronics is very similar, and this one coming to Lowe's for 2024 is basically a skeleton that pops up from out of a grave, a very similar idea to, again, what we saw with the pop-up grave zombie. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of this new animatronic. I know some people are a very big fan of this guy and think the look of him is very cool, and that the animation is something we haven't seen in a very long time. And while I do agree with that, and that it's an old animation that's kind of now resurfacing with this animatronic, I just kind of think that he is very, very simple and kind of on that beginner side of animatronics. I think the look of the skull is actually kind of okay. I think it's very reminiscent of the Harvester of Souls from, again, Spirit Halloween 2020. Of course, also manufactured by Techie, which is why we're kind of seeing that same kind of style and look, is because it's another Techie designed skull. I don't have a huge problem with that part. I think it's very Techie, and I think it's kind of just average for an animatronic. But this guy will be retailing for $149, so just about 150 United States dollars, which, again, I actually don't think this price tag is absolutely trash either. I think it's kind of just optimal. I think it's average for what we would expect for something like this animatronic. But nonetheless, that is the new for 2024 Tombstone Zombie Jumpscare. So now we're going to jump over to an animatronic that is, in my opinion, pretty similar to the Tombstone Zombie Jumpscare, at least in concept, and this is the brand new Jumpscare Pumpkin. Now, this is an animatronic that is getting people very excited, and most of that is coming from the mystery that is connected to this prop. As you can see from the stock photo, this guy is a brand new, smaller pumpkin animatronic that is coming to Lowe's for 2024, and of course, also being manufactured by Techie Design, just like basically the entire lineup that is for Lowe's this year. And this guy is basically a skeleton holding a pumpkin basically as his head. Now, why I said this guy is getting a lot of people interested, and that's kind of related to mystery, is because we don't know a ton about this animatronic. According to the description, this guy will have some kind of jump scare animation that will end up revealing the face that is underneath the pumpkin. Now, I'm kind of interested by this prop as well, because I'm not exactly sure what that animation is going to entail and how interesting the jump scare is actually going to be. I feel like this is one of those props where he can either be super surprising, and from the stock photo you're not going to get the full animation from him or the full concept until you actually see a video of him, or it can also be one of those props that it seems a lot more interesting from the description than it actually is, and once we'll actually see it, it won't be as fun or exciting as we thought it would be. This one could definitely go either way, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why I'm interested to see more about this animatronic and to see his full demo video. But this guy will be retailing for $198, so just about 200 United States dollars, which is another reason why I'm kind of expecting that this guy will do something pretty cool, because the price for 200 bucks for a small animatronic like the one we're seeing here, I'm kind of expecting something pretty awesome in terms of animation. However, we've also seen a lot of other Lowe's animatronics so far this year that have had pretty steep price tags, so this guy could be another example of that, where the price tag doesn't really reflect what the animation will be. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see until we have more information about this guy, the pumpkin jump scare. I will say, in terms of his look, I think it's very, very simple. I think the body is kind of not great. I think the body could have had a lot more to go along with it. However, I do like the look of the pumpkin. I think it looks pretty realistic and very much like a classic traditional jack-o'-lantern. But nonetheless, that is a new for 2024 Jumpscare Pumpkin. Next up, we have yet another smaller techie animatronic coming to Lowe's for 2024, and this is the 3-foot trick-or-treat skeleton Reaper Rapper. That was definitely a mouthful. But this guy is basically a 3-foot trick-or-treater coming to Lowe's for this season, and one of the most interesting things about this guy is that according to his description, he is actually a rapping skeleton, and he is going to have some kind of animation where he actually dances to his rap. Not really sure. This is definitely an interesting animatronic. I will say, in terms of look, I think this guy is actually pretty good. I like the vintage aesthetic that he has. I like the little trick-or-treating bag that he's holding, and I also enjoy the sickle that he has. He's very similar to the 3-foot duo, musical duo that we saw from Lowe's last year, who I actually own, who's in the background here, but you can't see him because they're too small. But I feel like this guy actually will go along with them very nicely because he's yet another 3-foot animatronic. He's another trick-or-treater, and most of all, he's carrying on that vintage look that we saw with the musical duo from last year. And then this guy actually is also being manufactured by Techie Design. Big surprise, basically the entire lineup is being manufactured by Techie Design. But this guy will be retailing for $79, so just about 80 United States dollars. And once again, I actually don't think this price tag is that bad because 3 feet tall, LED eye, some kind of dancing animation. Not really sure what that is exactly at this moment, but I'm sure it's some kind of waist turning, maybe a head turning as well. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but 80 bucks, honestly don't think is that bad. And I will say, I am very happy to see that with this batch of leaked stock photos, the prices don't seem to be nearly as high or as overpriced as we saw with the first batch, so that is definitely a positive thing. But that is the new for 2024 3-foot rapping skeleton. This next animatronic is going to get you very excited if you are a fan of Disney, and more specifically, the Haunted Mansion, because this is the 6-foot beheaded knight from the Haunted Mansion. Now, I have to say right now, before I even talk about this guy, that I specifically am not a Haunted Mansion fanatic, and I know there are Haunted Mansion superfans out there, and people who know the ride, and every square inch of the ride, and all the lore and storyline behind it. Unfortunately, I am not one of those people, so right off the bat, I feel like I don't have the most expert opinion when talking about this animatronic, because I don't really have a ton of knowledge relating to the Haunted Mansion. What I do know is that this guy was taken exactly from the ride. He was basically just extracted from it, and this exact knight in character can be seen at Disney in the Haunted Mansion ride. I do like the look of him. I love the blue. I know that's something that's all over the Haunted Mansion, are the blue kind of characters. That's kind of the main style of the ride. And I think in terms of accuracy, this guy actually looks great. The detailing, the color scheme, the way the face looks, everything about this guy looks very, very accurate to how the knight looks in the Haunted Mansion ride. And I think that will satisfy these super fans of Haunted Mansion and make him sell very well among those fanatics. However, I am kind of curious to see how this guy will sell overall, because while there are a lot of Haunted Mansion fans out there, I feel like there are more casual people who may walk into a Lowe's location and have no idea who this character is and why a knight is blue and holding his own head. So because of that, I'm kind of interested to see how this guy will end up selling in the long run, because again, while I think he'll sell very well among those Haunted Mansion superfans, they don't make up the main market for Lowe's Halloween, and that's why I want to see how well this guy will sell. On top of that, to determine how well he's going to sell, of course, we have to take a look at his price tag, and this guy will be retailing for $298, so just about 300 United States dollars. And of course, you got to hear about this guy's animation to know if the price tag is worth it. And I will say that this guy is set to have some knight mouth movement, which will be, of course, the head that he's holding. And then, of course, according to the description, that mouth movement will be linked to the music, which actually will be the Grim Grinning Ghost song, which is, of course, another song that is heard throughout the Haunted Mansion ride, adding even more accuracy to this animatronic. So honestly, I actually don't think 300 bucks is that bad for this animatronic, because of course, right off the bat, you're getting an officially licensed Disney animatronic, and we know from the past that Disney licenses do tend to add a lot of money to the price tag, because Disney licenses are a lot more expensive than, say, a movie license for a horror film or horror series or anything like that. Disney licenses do tend to add a lot more cash to that price tag. And then on top of that, he does have that mouth movement and the Grim Grinning Ghost song, which is just another licensing thing there as well. So overall, I feel like 300 bucks is not bad. And then like I already said, this guy will be standing at 6 feet tall. Next up is an animatronic that I feel like is a companion for something we saw last year, and more specifically, the Cemetery Angel, because this is the new for 2024 7-foot animatronic Gargoyle. Now, the reason I say that I feel like this guy goes very well with the Cemetery Angel is because, of course, last year we saw the Cemetery Angel, and now we are seeing this Graveyard Gargoyle. Now, I do have to say, I am not a huge fan of this animatronic. I don't really think that this guy is one of the highlights for the Lowe's Halloween 2024 lineup, and there's kind of a bunch of different reasons for that, and I'm definitely not the only person saying this, because I know a lot of people have been kind of knocking this new animatronic. This guy is a gargoyle that is sitting atop of a kind of pillar, is what it's meant to resemble. It kind of has a nice little design on there. Again, something you would see in a graveyard. He has very big wings, he has some pointy ears, and then the weirdest thing about this guy is the fact that he has fur on him. Yeah, he has fur. I'm not really sure why this gargoyle has fur. It actually even talks about it and kind of brags about it in a way in the description, saying how he has fox fur accents. Again, I'm not really sure why a gargoyle has fur on him. He almost looks like a lion with having like that fur going around his neck. I have never seen a gargoyle that has fur, so I'm not really sure why Lowe's is going for this. And then we're not actually sure who is manufacturing this guy as of the current moment. I kind of don't think that he's techie. I'm not really sure what company this guy will be, but I guess time will tell. Maybe SVI. I don't really think he's SVI, though. The face doesn't look SVI to me. So maybe techie, maybe SVI. Who knows? I guess only time will tell. But overall, not a huge fan of the look of this guy. Again, the fur thing is very, very odd. I think the face of this guy does not look like a gargoyle. I'm not sure where Lowe's thought this thing looked like a gargoyle, because it almost looks like a guy dressed up as a gargoyle sitting on a pillar who's gonna jump out at you. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of this animatronic. I know maybe there's some people who would think that he's a creative vision of what a gargoyle could be, but I am not one of those people. This guy will be retailing for $198, so just about 200 United States dollars, which, I don't know. It's not bad, but I don't really love the animatronic, so I don't think the price tag is super worth the prop, because you could go to Lowe's Lowe's or another Halloween company and get a much better animatronic for 200 bucks and get a lot more bang for your buck. But I mean, if you like to look at this guy, he's 7 feet tall, he's got moving arms, he's got flapping wings. I guess you could justify that price tag and say that it's worth it, but I would just say that the animatronic doesn't look as good as it should be, and if you're looking for something to display in your cemetery or graveyard haunt or display, whatever you're doing, I would much rather you go with the Cemetery Angel from last year instead of this new for 2024 7-foot gargoyle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. 6 more leaked Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronics, and from this brand new batch of leaked stock photos, I would have to say that my personal favorite is that balancing clown on the bowling pins. I think this guy is actually pretty neat, and like I said all the way back in the beginning, I do like his color scheme, and I am very interested to see the official demo video for this guy so we can get a first look at those moving legs and the twisting head. But overall, I think it is very interesting to see the full Lowe's lineup kind of pan out here. There is definitely a lot more animatronics than I originally expected there would be, and I would say that in my opinion, the first leaked animatronics are better than the second batch of leaked props. I just feel like the sea-themed and nautical stuff was a lot better than these things that we're seeing now, such as that weird gargoyle with the fur and that Jumpscare Pumpkin. However, that's just my opinion. Maybe you like these guys more because they're more traditional Halloween. I would just say that I like the nautical and sea-themed animatronics just a tad more. But I guess, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. I'll see you guys later for more Lowe's Halloween 2024 videos. Goodbye.